Hi everyone, and welcome to yesterday's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. So yesterday I was just so exhausted, and it was a really stressful day because I had been knitting just nonstop and finishing work, so I just passed out. So I figured I'd be nice and fresh in the morning and record this for you guys. So that's what's going on right now. So let's get right to it. So much like now, General Hospital starts the morning after yesterday's episode. Or you know what I mean. So at General Hospital, Monica and Tracy and Dylan come back from putting the wreath on the family crypt. And Finn approaches and tells them Hayden is missing. Hayden is always missing. Who's that? Okay, so at Perks, apparently you can ice skate, like, across the way from Perks, you know, where the camera doesn't see. So is that just, like, on the water, in the waterfront, or is there, like, some kind of rink? I don't know. I can't tell you. But Elizabeth's there with at least Jake, I think, and Franco comes over and got her pepper spray, a whistle, and a flashlight. How thoughtful. So Franco tells Liz that he won't kill Tom Baker and that he's calmed down now. And she's like, they really have a good talk about how he scares her when he gets that violent and he doesn't want to be that person, you know, all that. So Hayden is on the bench and Elizabeth sees her and she's concerned, and Hayden just wants to skate. So Liz calls Finn and Finn arrives. Turns out Hayden made a bucket list and that's what she's doing. So she went to Niagara Falls the other day. She's ice skating now because she never got to in Rockefeller Center because that's for tourists. And it just occurred to me when I was in the city the other day, I didn't see the rink. So back at General Hospital, Elizabeth asked Monica about Hayden's illness, which she wasn't aware of, and Tracy comes out of the board meeting. It didn't go well, mostly because the chief financial officer wasn't there, but can you blame her? At Kelly's, Tom Baker runs into Kiki again. I don't really think it's that much of a coincidence. She's having trouble finding a job, it seems. So he tells her he's a professional photographer and asks if she's a model and says he'd love to take pictures of her, this, that, and the other thing. So Franco sees Kiki talking to Tom, and Kiki brings up Dylan to Tom that she already has a photographer connection, and if she needs pictures taken, that's who she'll go to. So then Dylan starts approaching, and Tom Baker makes a quick getaway, and when he rounds the corner, Franco is there. At the PCPD, Dante and Nathan think Maxie and Lulu are up to something, and there's no leads on Claudette. At Windermere, so Nina and Valentine kind of like the serious direction their relationship's going, and he thinks they could have a good relationship, but she's not so sure. So Dante and Nathan arrive, and they tell Valentine that a woman was found outside Calgary Airport who matches Claudette's description, but they don't have anything, and she's really out of it due to exposure. So then Nina comes in, and Nathan is like, what? So Nina calls Valentine her boyfriend while she's defending him, and Nathan thinks Valentine took advantage of her, and that just only makes her double down on this whole no he didn't thing. So Nathan really focuses on Nina instead of the investigation on why they were there, and Valentine winds up asking them to leave. So then after they leave, Nina asks him why they were there, and I was like, oh, well, you could have just not done what you did and listened. At New York, in Manhattan, Lulu and Maxie are where Charlotte was born. They're in New York under the ruse they're getting Lulu's bridesmaid dress, but nope. So it's like, as Maxie describes it, a low-rent OBGYN place, and there's actual physical files, so they won't need to be hacking anything. So they're undercover. It's kind of fun to see them undercover, to be quite honest with you. So Maxie's a patient, and, you know, she thinks she's pregnant, and she thought they were just going to do a blood test. But the doctor, who's actually, like, super rude and judgmental to her, like, wants to do a full exam, and needless to say, she's not thrilled. Like, she mentions her fiance, and he was like, well, back in my day, people got married before that. And, like, I mean, it's super rude. Like, if they weren't undercover, if he was, like, an actual doctor she was actually going to, she would have been out of there so fast his head would have spun. So Lulu's checking through the files, and after going through, you know, Claudette's maiden name, West, it finally occurs to her, Cassadine. So she finds a super shady file, like, in the back, labeled Baby Cassadine. Totally legit, right? So Lulu photographs the files. The doctor leaves the room and catches Lulu with a bunch of papers on the floor. So Lulu says she found out her husband was cheating on her with her cousin and she needs to know if Valerie was pregnant, and she found his business card, and, you know, she thinks, and, you know, da 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 da. But I took from that, like, this is a super big step that she's able to talk about that situation, but not in context, and, like, she can use it to her benefit. And, like, I think that really shows how over it she is, which means I should be over it, but, like, could I still keep my low sodium salt, please? So Lulu runs into the exam room with Maxie, saying, you know, he caught me, but he's not going to call the police, but we got to go, like, right now. And he locks them in. So there you have it. And now end scene. So Dylan and Kiki are having breakfast at Kelly's, and they talk about Emily and just about loss in general. And he warns her against Tom Baker, but I don't know if he realizes that she's already come in contact with him, and I don't know if she realizes that either. Like, does she know the shady guy was Tom Baker? I couldn't really glean that. So Franco then talks to her about Tom Baker, and she's like, yeah, Dylan told me. So I guess the connection was made, and he needs her help to make sure every woman is safe from Tom Baker, and she likes that idea. Oh, before I get too ahead, I did miss something to write in here. So when Dylan and Kiki were having breakfast, they talked about her job search, and she mentioned she was looking at nanny jobs. So apparently, the thing that she really connected with was, like, you know, how much she cares about Avery and, like, watching Avery, and she wants to channel that into, like, you know, baby nannying, watching children, like, that kind of thing. Anyway, so Tracy tells Elizabeth and Monica about Dr. Finn's illness and how Hayden has it too. And Monica makes a... Oh, so Monica didn't realize it was that serious. And Monica makes a comment to Tracy after Elizabeth is like, oh my goodness, something, like, it mentions that she and Hayden are sisters, basically. So Monica makes a comment to Tracy about how she thought Amy was making up this whole Elizabeth and Hayden were sisters, but, you know, apparently it's true. And Elizabeth calls, presumably, Jeff Weber to say, your daughter needs you, she's dying. So this should be another interesting element to it. Hayden collapses in Finn's arms. Lulu found proof that Valentine, yes, is the father, but Claudette was a surrogate. Dr. Bellamy, the OBGYN, calls not the police but Valentine and lets him know that he found 2 female intruders who were looking for information on Claudette, and Valentine asks how much they know, and that's how they'll decide how to deal with it. So yeah, that's not good at all. Thank you so much for this unexpected delayed recap. And I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!